In this episode, I'm going to help you fix your food.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Yesterday we talked about fixing your fitness, and today we're going to talk about the food, and we're also going to talk about how it relates back to fixing your fitness. So we got a lot of different, concepts converging all at once. So we're going to go back to yesterday a little bit, but we're going to be going forward. So we're going forward, and we're going back. We're going forward, we're going back. So welcome everyone to episode 292 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular podcast in the realm, because when I flex, you flex, we all flex. Motherfucking biceps. Look at those things. Look at that. Look at Everest. Okay. So those of you that are new to the podcast, I want to introduce you. This is Everest and this is K2. Climb them both. Look at that. Look at that topography. Look at this topographical fucking gains right here. Topographical gains. Yeah. You don't have to travel and see the world. You just got to turn on the podcast and watch me just flex all the different continents and landmarks around the nation. Welcome to episode 292. Thank you for joining me live on Facebook every day at 12 noon Eastern time, right here at Swolenormous. Obviously, if you're freaking here, obviously you know where to find me. You can watch every episode on YouTube and also on SoundCloud and iTunes for the podcast. So if you miss any of the episodes and you're driving to work or you're doing the dishes or you're making sick fucking gains, if you're making sick fucking gains in the gym, just listen to the podcast, yo. Listen to the podcast. And before we get started, we already kind of did get started yesterday. Remember, das Link is in my profile. And I'm actually going to do this right now. I'm actually going to post in the comments a link. Boom, look at that. So I'm commenting live now too. Download the ebook. If you haven't downloaded my ebook, 7 Pillars of Swolenormous, there's a link in the discussion. Right here, I just posted myself, and also if you look at the description, the title, you will see a link for my ebook, which will go into this in more depth. And it's like it organized all these thoughts and kind of summarized a lot of things very succinctly. So we talked yesterday about fixing your fitness and why that's so important. So just a brief recap of yesterday. Fixing your fitness is so fucking important to do first. And the problem that most people find is that they go towards food. What we're going to talk about today, they go towards food first. And they work on fixing their nutrition. They work on cutting out foods first. They work on overhauling their diet first. And that's just wrong. It's wrong. And I'm not going to say it's bad, but it's wrong in the sense that it is not setting themselves up for success. It's not setting you up for success. So Jeanette, food is the hardest for me. Yeah, it's the hardest for everyone. It's really the hardest for everyone. The issue is when you should be doing this, when you should be implementing this into your program. And those of you that have already started my fitness program that was just released exclusively for Swolenormous Premium members, the 90-Day Dash. My program, the 90-Day Dash, focuses on fitness first, getting you in your habitual routine. So once you have that, once you have your fitness, once you focus on creating those physical habits, where do you go from there? Where do you go from there? You go to your food. So thank you everyone so far for sharing the broadcast and getting this out there. The episodes are going to get more and more lit like tits. It doesn't really flow that well when you talk about it with like a plural. This episode is lit like a tit. The future episodes will be lit like tits. You can't really plurify that. But anyway, thank you for sharing. Thank you for all the support. And great feedback so far on the 90-Day Dash, on the programming, on the Swolga, on the resistance training portions. Really great feedback. And that's the premise of that program. And the 7 Pillars of Swolenormous, my ebook, delves into that. So fitness first. Now you are ready to focus on your food. So you've created those physical habits. Now you're looking to delve into getting more results. Because when you create those habits, you start seeing that change, guess what? then you're fucking amped. Then you're amped to see more results. You're amped to do something about it. You're amped to make a change. You're amped to take your fitness to the next level. So you've created that fitness, and now you're going for your food, which is going to help snowball that fitness. It's going to help you snowball. It's the snowball effect, the same reason why these live broadcasts are growing and growing and growing, and why Swolenormous Premium is growing and growing and growing, and the whole movement of Swolenormous is growing and growing and growing. It's a snowball effect. And your fitness is the same thing. You will get that snowball effect. You will start growing. You will start seeing change. You will start compiling and compiling and compiling over and over and over again. It will happen. It will happen. You will get more and more and more out of it. Now, that being said, you need to keep pushing that snowball to make it go. It's not going to roll on its own. You're not rolling it down a fucking mountain. You have to still put in the effort to make it continuously roll. Excuse me. So now that it's rolling, what do? How do you fix your food? Well, first off, if you've already downloaded my ebook, which I told you on Instagram and Snapchat today, I told you needed to download it first so you can read and get a little feedback and get a little ahead of the game. If you are looking to fix your food, what is the easiest thing to do? Actively eat other things or eliminate? Well, in reality, it's easier to start implementing new foods rather than restrict yourselves from other ones. Let me explain what I mean. Psychologically, taking something away is like, imagine, a lot of you have children. Imagine when you take something away from your child that it likes. I want it. It's like, shut the fuck up. It wants it back. A dog, you're playing with a toy, you want to take a toy away from a dog, dog's like, arr, arr. Once you have something, and same thing with you. Think about like, if you ever, let's say you drive a rental car, you go on a trip, and you drive a rental car that's nicer than your car. Once you go back to your car, you're like, oh man, I'm still driving this piece of shit. Once you have something nicer, it's hard to go back, right? Once you work for yourself, it's hard to go back and work for someone else. Once you have a nice watch, it's harder to go back to a crappier watch. Watches tell time, but cell phones, how about that? Let's talk about cell phones. Whether you have an iPhone 7, or an iPhone 6. Imagine if everyone here, because you're all watching me pretty much mobile. Imagine if everyone here, we had to go back to like the iPhone 3GS. Remember that model? The iPhone 4. We'd all be like, what the fuck is taking so long? The screen is terrible. It's garbage. Once you have something nicer, it's harder to go back. So if you're eating pizza and chicken wings and, really sloppy cheeseburgers and like a lot of cheese and nachos, and you're eating shit, whatever it is, you're eating shit and it's shit, ice cream and all that crap. Once you have that, it's hard to take it away. So what do? You've implemented your fitness, right? So now you're on that physical journey. You're on that repetition. You are used to it. You have created that habit. Good for you. You fucking did it because that's the way it's best done. Then when you start fixing your food, you need to actively, because you're only going to eat so much anyway, and now you have the mindset that you want to eat cleaner. So instead of thinking elimination, think adding. And that's going to be a little bit of a, whoa, wait a second, Papa Swoleo fucking enormous. Did you just say add? Did you say add? And I'm like, first off, yes, I did, because as you can tell, Papa Swoleo enormous is always adding. Look at these fucking gains. When you're adding, you are, in a sense, trading off. You're not eliminating. Stop thinking about taking away and add good things, because naturally, remember, now you've created that habit with fitness, so you are adding your fitness to your life. Boom, now that's cemented. We talked about that, fixing your fitness. So let's say your fitness is fixed, like you got that rolling, you got that habit down. Then you already want to intrinsically, you already want to eat better. So focus on eating better. It's in your fucking mind. First off, think about this. Focus on eating better. Forget about not eating junk. Everyone's so hell-bent on saying, don't eat this, don't eat this, don't eat this, don't eat this, don't eat that, don't eat that, eat less of that. You shouldn't be eating that, eliminate this. Think about how that processes in the brain. It's negative, right? It's negative. Take away this. Take away this. I don't want it. Take it away. Take it away. Taking away my binky. No, take it away. Take it away. No. Add things. Add things. Add. 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 Add more vegetables. Add healthy choices of protein. Add fruits. Add the good shit. Add. Because first off, you already want to see better results. So intrinsically, you're going to eliminate, you're not going to eat all this good food and then also eat pizza on top of it. I mean, who's going to have like kale, whole eggs and, let's say a sweet potato and then go and eat a whole fucking pizza? Like contrasting. You worked out hard, you want to eat better, you eat this good food, and then you're going to eat crap extra on top of it. Most of you will not even come close to that. You need to think adding the good stuff. Focus on eating better. Don't think about eliminating. Okay? Don't think about eliminating. Focus on eating more of the good stuff. I'm not talking about eating extra calories. I'm not talking about eating more than you should eat and gaining weight. I'm talking about eating the right foods. Focus on the positive. Focus on eating stuff. Don't focus on eliminating things. Because, like I've said before, and the common theme and the way I've talked about on the Daily Swole for this past year, I have been saying that if you're eating the right shit, you don't have to count the bad shit. And you can't put a number on it. You can't put a number on it. 30% working out, 70% diet. You can't put a number on it. I hate those numbers. I appreciate the comment, but I hate those numbers. 80% diet, 20% gym, 30%, 70%, 50, 50, 64. That doesn't make any sense. And I'll explain why. I'm not just going to say that. I'm not hating on it. I appreciate it. I love you, bro. But I don't like that concept because people just say things. There's no such thing as a percentage that it's 20% diet. There are people that eat crap and they have abs and they're muscular. And you're like, how the fuck do they eat that and look that way? There's a lot of genetics and a lot of things that come into play that's why diet is that's why people focus on, all right, I'm about to blow your minds again. You see how this conversation was just going right now? That's why people focus on diet first, because everyone struggles because of things like, 70% diet, 30% working out, or 80% diet, 20% working out. You gotta eat this, it's all mostly diet, results are made in the kitchen. So everyone focuses on the food. They focus on the food. They focus on the food. And they don't focus on creating the right fucking habits and making their fitness a serious part of their lifestyle. That's why you have to go backwards. And I'm not saying, oh, food's not important. Of course it's important. Of course it's important. Of course it's important. Yeah, those freaks out there that eat crap. I mean, just because they look a certain way doesn't mean they're not going to have cancer from eating junk their whole life, or have heart disease. So it's really a distraction. Fixing your food is a distraction. Megan, what about counting macros? I feel like I have to track, so I'm only 5'1", I have as much wiggle room. Well, you're 5'1". If you're exercising hard, like you're a human being. Whether you're 5'1" or whether you're 6'1", if you're training hard, your body's going to tell you what it needs. Now, here's the point of where it comes to macros. You don't need a calculator. You don't need a calculator. You don't need a calculator. I'm sick and tired of these fucking calculators adding up calories. The government and people and society are telling you this is what this has in it because it's garbage. It's garbage. If I give you some cyanide, if I give you some fucking poison, think about it. If I give you literal fucking poison, here's some poison. I want you to consume this and live. You're gonna be like, let me measure out exactly what I need because if I drink too much, I'm gonna fucking die. That's what it is. But if I say, here's healthy stuff, eat this, and then you'll be full and you're not gonna want any more and you'll live. It's like, okay, I'll eat. Healthy food sends signals via hormones to your brain, and your brain will tell you when it's hungry and when it gets full. If you're eating things like McDonald's and you're eating shit that has high fructose corn syrup, they block hormone response and they inhibit the body's ability to know when it's full and when it's hungry. That's why you'll eat this stuff. That's why you'll eat 2,000 calories at McDonald's, and all of a sudden, half an hour later, you get more and more and more full because you overate, because high fructose corn syrup blocks those receptors that tells your brain that it's full, and you eat way beyond when you're full. So you need to get, yes, Carrie, you have to get your workout right. You have to get your workout right. And no, I don't have a recipe book because there's so much individuality. My recipe book is make food and fucking eat it. That's my recipe. Oh, do you have any fancy recipes? No, food. You don't need fancy recipes. Real food tastes good if you stop eating synthesized, sweetened, artificial shit. Real food starts tasting like food again because you don't need all this stimulation. It's like watching TV all the time and then looking at a sunset. You know, where's the special effects, man? Where's the special effects, man? It's like, there's no special effects, Lebowski. It's the fucking sunset, bro. It's a sunset. You know, if you're watching Jerry Bruckheimer movies, a sunset's going to look boring if you're watching Transformers on repeat. So you need to focus on the right things first. My point is, when you fix your food, you have to add the good foods, and the bad shit is going to balance itself out. Because if you have your fitness, and if you have your focus on, and here's the thing, here's the kicker, because a lot of what you all are saying in the comments is not incorrect. It's not like bad stuff or bad questions. There's no bad questions I'm seeing out of the corner of my eye. There aren't bad questions. The problem is not that you're asking these questions, but the fact that you even have to ask these questions. The body regulates itself. The body regulates itself. And if you focus on the right things, it really does work itself out. And it's the overcomplication. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm just saying it's not complicated. There's so much variety. There's so many subtle differences and allergies that you might have and intolerances that you might have. It's this idea that you need to eat a certain way when there are many different ways to consume food. That you have to be vegan, that you have to eat meat, that you have to be paleo, that you have to, there's no have to do anything, okay? We live in a society where ever since we're little, we're put through a system, a school system that programs you to count things, to do this, go to this school after this, go to college after this. This is 2 + 2 is 4. This is this. Then you go here, and then this is 200 calories. This is 500 calories, and then your limit is 2,000 calories. It's based on a 2,000 calorie diet. It's based on this. This is based on this. If you add these up, you get that. It's all based on shit. When you come into the world, none of this exists. It's you, your body, and then things you can eat. You can eat meat. You can eat vegetables. There are many things you can eat. Don't fucking tell me the body is not designed to eat meat. Get the fuck out of here. Is it designed to eat as much meat as everyone eats? I'm not a scientist. I'm sure there's plenty of research that says, no, you shouldn't be doing that. I mean, everything in that type of excess is not necessarily good. High-fat diets are not bad for you. But, I mean, there's different ways to get a lot of high fat. You know, should you not eat meat and just eat fucking rice and beans? I don't think so. But some people live by it. It just goes to show the fact that you could be a hardcore vegan, that you could be a hardcore carnivore, and everyone can live to be 90 years old. It just goes to show that the body can do a lot of different fucking things. And everyone gets so butthurt when they pick one direction, like, that's the right way, that's the right way. Well, fuck you, there is no right way. There was that video that went viral that this fucking guy, he's like 105 and he smokes like 10 cigars a day and drinks whiskey. And who's to say that he's wrong? Like, what the hell? There are people that smoke every single day of their lives, live to be 100, never have lung cancer. There are people that never smoke a day in their life, get lung cancer when they're 30. I mean, are you going to tell me that one way is better than the other? Like, if I asked you, is it good to smoke every single day? It's like, no, of course not. Well, this guy did it and he has no problems. It just goes to show that there's a lot of variety. There are a lot of outliers. If you do any statistics class, you know there's a standard deviation. Most people fall between here. And then there are the outliers. Well, there's a lot of fucking outliers and you might be one of them. So someone that can eat junk all day and eat a ton of crap and calories and sugar and syrups and garbage and having a six-pack and be strong and athletic and just fucking be able to jump 6 feet in the air like it's nothing, that's genetic. That's a freak. That's an outlier. Doesn't mean they don't exist. Doesn't mean there aren't a lot of them. But a lot of times the problem is when you have these genetic freaks giving advice. That's the problem. When you have outliers giving advice to the masses, when you have people that had to have success on a small, little, unique scale, and they tell and broadcast it as if that's the way that people need to do it. And then other people try that and they can't fucking do it. Like this flexible dieting bullshit when people are eating like Oreo cakes and stuff and but it's 300, here are the macro splits. That is absolute crap. These fucking guys posting these, food things on Instagram and stuff of, Oreos and cookie and syrups falling out. And this is like, sugar-free this and that. Sugar-free, but it's creamy, tastes like chocolate and all this crap. I don't care how much stevia and junk it is. It's not fucking real. You are being covered by this veil and this idea that because you look a certain way that you're healthy. So here's the thing, and here's what I'm gonna leave you with. And this is all about, of course, going back to fixing your food. You have to find out what's important to you. Do you wanna look a certain way? Well, you can look great, quote unquote. You can look great and be unhealthy as shit. So don't think that you have to be 500 pounds to have diabetes. Don't think that you have to, have a six-pack to be healthy. It depends on if you wanna look a certain way, you should be doing certain things to look a certain way. If you want to feel a certain way and be healthy on like a blood profile test, then you should do things a certain way. So you need to find out what's important to you and fix your shit accordingly. But going back to fixing your food and my ebook, you need to focus on adding the right shit first and stop worrying about eliminating. Get your fitness, add the right foods, and I'm telling you, shit will balance itself out. You're focusing on the wrong stuff. And all these things that everyone is telling you to do with diet, eat better this, eat better that, eliminate this, that's fucking why. All these questions that I'm getting asked, they're not bad questions, but this is why people don't get results with diet. That's why people struggle with diet. That is why people struggle with their food. Because you're given all this fucking information and there's so many options that I don't blame you. You're like, what the fuck do I do? There's so many things. Do I eat by my macros? Do I eat flexible? Do I do reverse dieting? Do I do paleo? Do I do high carb? Do I do low carb? High fat, low fat? Well, you got to find what works for you. What is your goal? What do you do every day? Where do you stand? What has worked for you thus far? What hasn't worked? You got to get your shit together and you have to look within and figure it out. But you have to fix your food by adding the right foods that we all know are better. You need to eat foods that rot. You need to eliminate the artificial and the synthetic shit. Start eating better foods, start drinking more water, and you will start neutralizing all these bad habits you've built up over the course of your entire life. Thank you so much for joining me for episode 292 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular podcast in the realm. Because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. Today's episode was lit like a tit. Thank you for joining Everest and K2. Oh, this is Everest and this is K2. I get them confused. Twins, happens sometimes. Thanks for joining for episode 292 on Facebook, live every day at 12 noon Eastern time, watching on YouTube at Swolenormous, and also listening on the podcast at Swolenormous, iTunes, and SoundCloud. If you have not downloaded my ebook, make sure you click the description. I'm also going to write another comment right now. Boom. Click that link, download the ebook, 7 Pillars of Swolenormous. That will go into all this with more depth and give you the whole foundation, because tomorrow and the next day and the next day, I am going to beat these principles into you. So read that ebook. That way you have that prior education. So when you come to these broadcasts, you already have questions and things you want to answer based on that. So make sure you follow me here on Facebook. Make sure that you turn your live notifications on, because very, 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 very likely I'm going to do a live Q&A today, later on this afternoon, evening, so in a few hours from now. So make sure you turn that on. If you have any questions about the ebook, if you have any questions about all this stuff, fixing your fitness, fixing your food, and then guess what's tomorrow? Fixing your mind, and how these all tie in together. So thanks for joining me. Download the ebook if you have not, and I will talk to you all later. Peace out, and let's get swole. Oh, oh, oh.